Hello, hello, hello. Hello, everyone. Hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is time for talk therapy. It's Tuesday. I was about to say October, August 25th, 2020. I am your host, Tara Stallings, and my co-host.
Melody Manning, how y'all doing this evening?
Yes, 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 yes. Um, We missed you guys last week. But we are here this week and we are excited. We got a great show for you today. Many of you guys, before you get started, I just want to make this little announcement. Make sure you go ahead on and like and share wherever you're coming from. Share it, tag somebody, make a watch party if you're on Facebook. If you're watching from YouTube, Periscope, how are you? It's great to see you tonight. I'm glad you joined us tonight. And engage. Tonight's topic is what's next? What is next? What's next? We're going into the fourth quarter soon. September, we'll be going into the fourth quarter of the year. And what's next, Melody? Usually we're getting things excited for 2020. We have a lot of people have mixed emotions about 20. We'll be going into 2021, getting ready for 2021. A lot of people still have mixed emotions about 2020, but I'm excited. We came into this year saying, clear vision, and I promise you, I am seeing clearer despite of. I think if COVID hadn't come, my vision would have been made clearer on a lot of aspects of my life. But going into this fourth quarter, we are, in going into 2020. It's a few months away from 2020. What's next? What's next, Melanie?
Well, Tara, let's not take us back to 2020. We trying to lead 2020. We're going
Uh,
into 2021.
I meant 2021. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
We
Yes.
try to leave that one behind. Some of us, anyway. Um, we decided that we would talk about this because everybody has mixed emotions about 2020 and the things that have been going on so far with 2020. We weren't expecting this. A lot of things that happened we weren't expecting. A lot of things that happened we were not prepared for. So normally this is the time of year that and we kind of refer back. I do a lot of things back to business. This is the point where businesses, some have already started planning for 2021. Also, me personally, this is the time of year where going into this fourth quarter, I start evaluating 2020 as to what I learned, what I need to take away from it, the good, take with me, the bad, leave behind, and start preparing for 2021. What is my vision board, vision chart, vision journal, vision box? Because there's so many different things you can do. What is it going to look like for 2021? So with that, there's a number of things that we individually, business wise, financial wise, and spiritually wise that we can start taking a look at and see what we can do to prepare for 2021 at this point. What kind of changes are you going to make in the marketplace to stand your business out for 2021? What are you going to do personally? What lessons have you learned? Are there any friendship associations that you need to change? Sometimes you just got to cut some stuff off, get rid of some stuff. What are you going to do with that? Also, are there any financial goals that you may have for 2020? Start planning out what changes you need to make now. So you'll have that clear vision, going into 2021 spiritually. Is there something that you need to change about your walk? because that is your walk. So it's not anybody else's responsibility to make that change, is yours. So what are you going to start doing differently to prepare for 2021? And I guess we can start off with on the personal level. We've been this year so far, me and Tara, we've talked a lot about relationships. We talked about friendships. We've talked about your inner circle. We've talked about a lot of things, but this is the time where you're supposed to evaluate and be like, you know what, maybe that's not for me. I need to cut that off. You know, maybe it's time for me to do something different. This is no longer serving me. Those type of things we need to take a look at.
Yes, definitely.
So you want to start from that point, Tara?
Yes, I think we can start there because look, it doesn't matter business, spiritual, everything points back to us. So you can't fix anything until you start with yourself. You have to reevaluate the whole of your essence, the whole of your beliefs, the whole of your values, the whole of your goals, your ambitions, your aspirations. You have to reevaluate that. Especially I would say in this year 2020, the year spiritually of the mouth, when we had our mouth closed with a mask, it's the year of speaking prophetically, and we've been muzzled by that. So, but with that, we have to reevaluate our personhood. Our personhood in its essence. What is relationship? What is mindset? Emotions, family, all of that, everything that encompasses who we are as a person, and our makeup as a person and our personalities, and how it's going to impact or affect us. I think I lost my co-host for a second. I don't know what happened. I guess she'll be back in a minute. How it's going to impact or affect us personally. Wait just a second. She'll be up in a second. Hold on. All right.
I'm back, Tara. I don't know what happened.
It's okay.
Froze up.
Yeah, I don't know. It kind of went out, but it's okay. Look, it showed my weight over here, so I'm going to move that away. So we really have to just reevaluate it because it's so much that we have going on personally that publicly impacts the people around us, our community, our government, our nation, our spiritual walk, our children. Everything matters when it comes to reevaluating. So when we talk about what's next for you as a person? What's next for, because, and I say that in the manner of, we have a great talk. We can always talk. Just like, we came in, 2020, seeing clearer for 2020. But nobody expected that 2020 would force you to see things differently. Nobody expected it. We always look at adversity as something bad. All COVID came and everything changed. No, you have to look at adversities as for what they are. Now, we talked about earlier when we were confined to the house, you were gonna have some babies gonna pop up, or you were gonna have some divorces. See, it was gonna be some people that got closer, or you were gonna have some people that separated. You were gonna have some people that standing on their faith, and you were gonna have some people that got exposed. Of the God that you say you serving, you really not serving. The mindset that you said you have, you really don't have. the strength that you said you're walking in, you're really not walking in. So 2020 has it forced us to look at life differently. It forced us to do business differently. It forced us to deal with ourselves differently.
Most definitely. It most definitely it gave us time to sit down and evaluate, because most of the time, we talked about this before, we stay so busy to compensate, for that time that we need to spend by ourselves. But a lot of us are fearful or just don't want to spend that time by ourselves because it could, bring up some past traumas or different things. So people avoid that time where they, take some time to themselves and really get to know themselves. Um, but in that, we can't take away the fact that 2020 is a year of clear vision. It still is a year of clear vision because you should be seeing a number of things differently. Um, with this year so far, I've learned a lot about melody. And we were having a conversation about that earlier that I just feel like I'm in a different space now. A different space. When I say a different space, as to be more vocal, because sometimes I may know something, or there may be needs to be what could lead to a confrontational moment, but I'll shy away from it because I really don't like confrontation. Because confrontation can bring out another side of me that I'm trying to be delivered from. So but that's not good either. So when we do those things, we have to evaluate. So I'm learning, and this is just I'm saying this and sharing this as an example, that it's okay sometimes to be yourself, express yourself, and to leave that fear behind. So that I know that's something that I need to work on, and being more vocal with something.
Oh my, I don't know what's going on with Melody's stuff today, but hopefully she'll be back in a second. And she was saying just being some things that she's learned. Look, it's we're live and it's the internet, so it happens. Just being more vocal, and I truly agree with her. You have to really here she comes, here she comes. Really have to evaluate. All right, Melody, we got you back.
I don't know what's I don't know what we're gonna blame it on Verizon. So I don't know what's going on that I keep losing connection. And with that, it is Verizon because that's who I use. But evaluate. Do you need to be more giving? Do you need to be more vocal? Do you need to be more loving? Do you need to be more accepting? Do you need to learn to place yourself first? These are some of the things you need to think about personal. Then when we move on to financially, do I need to get my credit in order? What steps do I need to take to get my credit in order? Are there certain purchases I want to make, things that I've got goals that I need to sit down and plan out? This is a time to evaluate that, because as we saw in this year, finances are something else. So this year a lot of us learned that you have to handle your finances differently. Finances, even with jobs, are not guaranteed. So what are you going to do if you lose your main income? Are you looking to maybe start a side hustle? I don't like that word. Let me take it out. Are you looking to start a side business? Are you looking to become a full-time entrepreneur? Different things. We've got to start planning for that and mapping that out, as far as finances. And when I say finances, I want to take that a step further. Do you have proper insurance? Because with everything going on with 2020, with COVID and stuff, COVID does not care what color you are. It doesn't care how old you are. It doesn't care if you're a mother, your father, or auntie, your sister, brother, anything. It doesn't care. We don't know how it's going to affect each person individually. So are you prepared for that downtime? Are you prepared to bury a loved one if it comes to that? Do they have proper insurance?
Mhm.
Are they prepared to maybe be down for a couple of months and stuff? Prepare for it. It's better to be prepared for it than to not be prepared at all. And even if you don't have it all figured out, start figuring out what you can figure out and do what you can do to put yourself in a little bit better position for that time.
Yeah. Definitely. During whenever there's a economic turnaround, whether it's a turnaround for the good or turnaround for the bad, you always have two classes of people. You have those people that we talked about it before. You have those people that strive, and you have those people that they decline, that lose in it. And when we talk as we talking about finances, for us, and because we talked about it, we've heard countless new businesses that have been created as a result of this pandemic and are doing great. You have a whole new service, face masks. People are making face masks, face shields. People started and online businesses have been thriving from this pandemic. I heard a lady say, one of the person that's following me, they said, well, I did great during the pandemic. And I can honestly say my business increased. Now, mind you, the salon wasn't there. I wasn't working at the salon for a while, but I still made money. I made more money in this economic downturn than I did before. Let me put it that way. I've made more money now. So for me, the pandemic wasn't a bad thing. It wasn't. It made me be creative, but it caused me to look at life differently. Especially with my finances, I learned that a lot of stuff that I thought I needed, I didn't need. I didn't need that. I don't, not that I had, I was doing a whole lot anyway, but a lot of stuff I don't need. I don't need this stuff. It was just not being watchful, being a good steward of my money. Some of the stuff I didn't need a lot of that stuff, so it made me reevaluate. Spiritually, I truly believe that I had to redefine. Well, I won't say redefine. Because I was always. That's not a good word. It made me slow down and make my priority my priority. And when I say that, my relationship with God was already my priority. But life can happen. And then you get pulled over here, you get pulled over there. Well, COVID kind of brought me back. Okay, look. You gotta keep the main thing, basically. Keep the main thing. For my spiritual walk, I had to really hone back in on the main thing being the main thing. And I know that's true to be a lot of people. I remember I had to rent a car, and the guy at the car place, he said, you know what? If people don't realize that this is a spiritual thing going on, I don't know what to say for him. And I knew him, but I didn't know him like that. And I said, yeah, you're right. But then you have those other people, because it's always two classes. It's always two types of people. Always. You're gonna have the ones that I say that can see, and the one that's walking around blind. You'll always have two classes of people, and then within those two classes of people, you got classes of people. So a lot of times I joke about the people that say they woke, but they're walking around sleepwalking. But it just made you, realize and redefine life. So it's 2020 that's coming up. What are we gonna do? What's next? Because a lot of people, Melody, think, hey, any day now, this is gonna be over and life is gonna go back to normal. A lot of people are holding on to any day now that this COVID-19 foolishness or pandemic or conspiracy or whatever they say is gonna be over and we're going back to normal. They say Trump put this out to get his vote. So, when it's affecting the whole world. So you got all this racial tension. The cops being exposed for what they already been doing for years, killing us. So what's next? We have, and I think I shared it with you earlier. We have people that saying, God gonna work it out, everything gonna get better. But I'm like, well, I don't know what Bible y'all reading. I don't know which one. I don't know which one y'all reading, but it ain't the same one I'm reading. I mean, it might be another King James version I need to get. Another apostrophe that I need to get. Because I didn't see that in there. And it's just on the rise thing. So what's gonna be next? Because guess what? Even in a time of famine, and I'm gonna use famine because a lot of people are in a famine. You talked about jobs. A lot of people don't have jobs. A lot of people are losing out, losing their home, losing their cars, a lot of people in a famine. There's a lot of people
Yeah,
that's
because
sad.
what
Go
we
ahead.
don't what we don't realize is that we still have people that were going to work. So the people that were going to work, they didn't have the, I don't want to say advantage. They didn't have access to some of the things that were made available. So they had their regular, they didn't get an increase from their job and pay. And some of them actually got a reduction in hours. So there are some people, there are people who are still, and that term that I use, the working poor, you know. So you had those that increased, and then you had those that stayed the same or either decreased. But during this time, we find that the prices of stuff is increasing. So those that didn't get an increase or a decrease or didn't have access to some of the things that were um, available, they in a new place. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Where they may have been comfortable at one point, they're feeling it. You know what I'm saying? So those people are also being affected, and the question is, how can they prepare as well with it? And when you're preparing for it, you got to realize sometimes you got to make some sacrifices. You got to say no to some things. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? And that is because more is coming. You know, and like you said, I'm just gonna say, I don't know what Bible some of these folks read. I don't know how else to say it, but more is coming, and we see stuff each day, and sometimes we're paying attention. Some of us are paying attention, and some of us are not paying attention to what's actually going on. And me and you, we had some conversations. We talked about some articles, and we talked about some stuff. And I'm a conspiracist too, but I think I'm a baby conspiracist compared to Tara.
Yeah. Yeah. 'Cause I got a notebook
And we
now.
talked.
I got a notebook. 'Cause this Melanie said it's more to come. It's already here. See, we watch the news.
Because it's a lot going on.
Yes,
It's a lot.
it is.
We read today about the genetically modified mosquitoes
Yeah.
that are being released, and this is real, y'all, being released in Florida as a population control. So those are things. Look at the new animals that they're finding. Was it Columbia, South Carolina? The snapping alligator turtle. They discovered three of them. They have actual photos of them. Three of them. Two 100 pounds and one 90 pounds. Two male, one female. They they are where they can reproduce. So my question is, where the children at? And one of those pictures I told you, Tara, he's standing up on his back legs. No, I don't want to run into him. And then they've got another something else they found in, was it Florida I told you about? No,
Florida
It
was the
was
mosquito.
Columbia is the lizard. Florida was the
Yeah.
snapping turtle, the snapping alligator turtle.
No,
And
Florida
then
was
you
the
got,
mosquitoes. The mosquitoes are being released in Florida also.
yeah, and they
And in
discovered this
different
new,
parts of the world also, in Arizona
yeah.
and California.
And then you were also talking about the new disease that's affecting children,
Children
that's in New
under
York.
5, yes.
In
Well,
New
it's
York.
all over, but it's in New York. It mimics, what did I say? It mimics Kwanzi disease, but it's a disease that it's a PMIS, um, pediatric multiple system inflammatory syndrome, and it's attacking children. It's attacking children. You have a West Nile. We got the West Nile virus that's back. The news is not talking about all of that. The West Nile virus in Spain. We got the pedophilia. We're not talking about. I pulled up something today. I think I shared it on my page where because we got homeschool. A lot of kids are being homeschooled virtually. Well, guess what? The hackers have hacked into the children's schoolwork and showing hardcore pornography to get the children. It's not enough for them that they're already doing having signals through. And I'm gonna say it because Disney has always been having sexual symbols in there that we don't catch because it's Disney. Disney is demonic. I'm just gonna say it. It's demonic. It's demonic.
And we've got, what is it, California, that pedophile is now a gender.
It's legislation. Well, if you consider it, this you can't be charged with it. Legislators Act 1172. If you say that is part of your gender, they consider that not a disorder or not. It's not. You can't go to jail because if you in California, the law was passed that if a child was caught prostituting 18 or younger, they cannot be prosecuted. So if the child can't be prosecuted, the predator can't be prosecuted either. So if you 15 or 16 or 10 or whatever, you out prostituting with somebody that's 35, they not gonna charge the child and they not gonna charge the person. So what is that? Pedophilia, right? It's a loophole. It's always a loophole. And I say this because I ain't gonna go off on my tangent tonight. Where we get distracted. I'm gonna say this. Whenever they doing something, I learned this being a conspiracy. They always set up something to get your focus off of what's really going on so you don't pay attention. Why they do something and they pass all these ungodly laws. And a lot of times we as supposed to be believers in the Most High God agree with them because we don't research, we don't understand what the laws entail. We just, it sound good. Sound like nothing. Research this stuff so you'll know what's going on. Research this stuff so y'all will know what's going on. I had a conversation. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna get off my tangent. I'm gonna get it off. But I need to say this because a lot of us, we follow the hype. We're used to whatever somebody say. It sounds good. We follow the hype. Now I don't like Trump. I don't like him. But my word says pray for him and honor those that's in authority over me. That's what my word tells me to do. It don't tell me I gotta like him, but it tell me I gotta pray for him. That's what it tells me. So I do that. But with that, when we had this battle, and I don't care if y'all get mad because y'all know I don't care. I don't. I don't care. When we had the battle going on with the governor and the mayors, and they were going to all the mayors in Georgia about this mask thing. Now, mind you, let me say my disclaimer. I think y'all need to put y'all mask on and keep your butt at home. Put your mask on and stay at home if you ain't got to go nowhere. But when they were trying to make us wear masks, I had to be with Governor Brian Kemp on that. And I'm going to tell y'all why. This is only because I know the backstory. Because when they make you, when they take your constitutional right away for something small, it's because they're trying to take your constitutional right away on something big. And you making me do something is taking my constitutional right away. It is not a law. Now the law say I gotta stop if the stop sign says stop and the red sign or the signal say stop. Say I gotta stop. If not, I'm gonna get a ticket and I'm gonna go to jail or whatever. That's the law. The law don't say that you can tell me what to do in my house. The law don't tell me you can tell me what to wear and where to go. The law does not tell me that. But when the law starts telling me, well, you gotta do this, and I'm gonna charge you for it, and it's not written, it's not a legislative act, it's not it's not been written, it's not a amendment, it's not a constitution. They are taking my constitutional rights away, and it's always something small, so that later on they can come back and take your constitutional rights away, and then they take it out from up under you. And then you don't know what happened. Well, you say, okay, take it. Make everybody do this and they gonna make you, if they make you do something small, they're gonna make you do something big. And they take your rights away right from up under you. Right from up under you. And I said all this to say this. When you start going with the flow, what people saying, stop making it about color. Stop making this about color all the time. It's not always about color. Color is about their agenda that they have that they are trying to push forward right up underneath your eyes. That's it. That's all I'm gonna say. Because Facebook really cut me off. Go ahead, man.
Y'all see what our conversations be like.
I'm just saying.
But with all of this that we just shared, that's when we say start preparing, and getting things in order for 2021. Because even with COVID, and people may disagree with us or whatnot. I don't think it's going to be a one day all of this is over. We've got a new way of life. The thing is now, I say it's better prepared than not. Be prepared. If it does go back to normal, what have you lost? Nothing.
Nothing.
So it's best to be prepared just in case. So get your finances right. Make sure you got your life insurance policies. If you don't have medical insurance, see what you can find that you can afford to get you some type of medical coverage.
Yeah.
Also prepare for your family, because I think we go, and this is just my personal thing. I think the dynamics of families and households are going to change in the future, and I say that due to the changes we see in finances. So I also feel that maybe start getting some stuff in order. If some folks you need to apologize to, go ahead and apologize. Have some hard conversations. And if you can't do it vocally, y'all know me. I believe sit down, write a letter, send them a letter.
Yep.
But sometimes, and we have to also get to a point where there are some people who are just never going to apologize to you. They just won't ever apologize to you. You'll never get that sorry. You'll never get that sorry. But you can still forgive them.
Yeah.
Now, how your forgiveness looks doesn't mean you got to be all up on them. Y'all got to be on the phone 5-10 times a day. But you need to forgive them and move on, because you never know where you may find yourself in the future.
That is so.
And if you need to stop burning some bridges, stop burning bridges, because you'll never know who you're going to need again. those are the type of things that we need to do to start preparing also. Because what we're finding during this time is you are not alone. We all need somebody else. And I'm gonna throw this in here right quick, and I don't know why I'm saying it, but I think I need to say it.
Say it.
Family is not always family. Friends can be family too, and
Amen.
that's okay. Your family may not be your friends, but they family. you know. So those are the type of things that we need to start dealing with also, and start
Yeah.
preparing your children for different things. Um, and with that, I say this, and I was taught this by a friend of mine years back. While your finances are good, not just preparing for if it gets worse, stop. Keep stockpile what you like. I'm gonna use this as an example. If you like a certain candle, buy so many of those candles. Even if you have to buy 3 or 4 at a time every now and then, stockpile. If certain things, dry goods, if your children like a certain type of cereal, buy up that type of cereal. So when
Mm-hmm.
things do start to change, because I really believe that your children didn't ask to be here. Some things children shouldn't always be exposed to,
Mm-hmm.
because they didn't ask to be here. So you don't want to upset their words because children go through anxiety and all of that also. We
Right.
don't like to give them credit for it, but children see and children feel. So we want to keep things as much normal as you can for the kids. Stockpile. So when things start looking a little crazy, they can still go in that cabinet and get what they're used to
Right.
having.
That's right,
You
Melody.
won't be so bad when you go pull out that candle that you like and light that candle. You won't be reminded, oh, I can't afford this right now.
Yeah.
Because we get to think, oh, I wish, I remember when I did this. So start stockpiling some stuff that you really like in your house. If it's certain soaps, buy up that type of soap. So if there is a shift in things, your mindset won't shift as fast.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm
Man,
gonna
I'm
tell you
glad you said that.
that broke mindset when you ain't able to get things that you used to. And I don't like the word broke because I tell you in a minute, I may be temporarily low on funds. I don't like to hear people say broke and poor. That's a whole nother state to me.
Yeah,
I'm not poor and I'm not broke. If I
that's
say
right.
I'm temporarily low on funds, that means I'm looking for some more because I'm gonna get some more.
That's right.
So and again, we gotta be careful what we bring out our mouths. You won't
That's
hear me
right.
say that too much, that I'm temporarily low on funds. But you have to look at how you're looking at things and what you're speaking to yourself. And we talked about that a couple of weeks ago. All of this, how you come out is what you do while you're in it.
Woo, say
And
that again,
it can
man.
bring on
Uh-uh. Don't go fast. Say that again. They need to hear that. I'm serious. They need to hear that.
how you come out is how you handle it while you're in it. And you need your mind is a vital thing. You got to keep your mind healthy. And I'm always I got to protect my space. And honey, I protect my space at all costs because I know what it costs me to get where I'm at.
Woo.
So I don't want to have to fight with other people and with myself for my peace. So I am very, very protective, you know, of my space, because I'll get up and go spirit in a moment. And you'll be saying, oh, where she went, why she left? Because, honey, I'm going to protect mine,
Yes.
and I
Yes.
know what it looks like, what my triggers are. That's something else we got to do. Know what your triggers are. Know
Yes.
what takes you out of your comfort zone, what takes away your peace, what can take away your joy. And that could be simply when somebody start talking about something that that ain't gonna sit right with your mind, bow out. You don't even have to say
Right.
nothing. Just let them be looking at your back and be like, well, no, why she walked away? And you don't have to give them an explanation. You
That's
got to
right.
protect your peace in your mind at all times.
That is so true. You said a mouthful, Melody. And I think that needed to be said because so often, what are you going to do next? What are you gonna do next? What's gonna happen? Stockpiling. You know, I've been stockpiling. Y'all got all this stimulus money. Y'all got all this unemployment. Instead of y'all buying Louis, Gucci, spending all this, y'all getting all these 24 inches and all these lace fronts and don't buying all this stuff. You better be stockpiling you some food, some toilet tissue. You better stockpile this stuff. Because prices have already gone up on groceries. What you think gonna happen in the next months? What if we get shut down again? You gotta stock up on stuff. You gotta stock. We have not been really prepared for any type of catastrophe. We in America, we are spoiled. We're used to going and coming as we please. What if we can't? What if we can't? What if you when it's going to the grocery store, you trying to go to the grocery store, they tell you, no, you can't come in here today. You can't come today. Your name doesn't start with it's not A through D, so you can't come to the grocery store today. And you don't have any groceries at home. What if they say that? What are you gonna do? What if you can only get gas at certain times? What are you gonna do? We never think about that stuff. Be prepared for the worst. Prepare yourself for things that can happen the worst, but think for the best. Be prepared mentally, physically, emotionally, materialistically. Man said, buy that stuff. Go and get that soap. What if soap go up to $10 a bar? You don't know what's gonna happen. And we haven't been taught how to, live off the land. We don't know how to live off the land like our grandmothers, used to make that octagon soap. I grew up in the country, y'all. My grandmama came from the country. She used to make that stuff. That soap out of that potash. We don't even know what potash is. We don't know how to make that stuff. We don't know how to make it. So most of us don't know, but I don't know how to do this. So we really need to prepare for what's next. So you always strive for the best, but you got to prepare for the what. I always say this. If you prepare for the what ifs in life, what if this happens and what if that happens? If you prepare for the what ifs, now you have to prepare for them with things and stuff and emotionally. If you prepare for them, if they happen, just if and when something happens, you got a plan. You got a plan for it. But if you never plan for it, when it happens, you get stuck. You get stuck. You get stuck. And so many people during this pandemic got stuck. They don't talk about the suicide rate that has been on the rise since this pandemic because people don't know how to deal with themselves. You don't see that on the news. But the suicide rate has increased. Domestic violence has increased. Child abuse has increased. They don't talk about alcoholism. Drug use has increased. We never talk about that. Crime increased. They just didn't put it on there because, they didn't put all that stuff on. The crime still increased. The thieves didn't stop thieving because it was a pandemic. They didn't stop. They didn't stop being criminals.
Some of them just got a little more sophisticated.
Yeah, that's all. They didn't stop. They didn't stop breaking in people's homes, breaking in people's cars, selling dope. They never stopped. They didn't say, "Oh, y'all, it's a pandemic. We ain't gonna steal today." Wrong answer. They didn't say that. But I don't know what we think sometimes. Sometimes I think we have been, I ain't gonna even go there. But we need to, what if? What's next, guys? What's next for your future? What's next? What's next for your life? What's next for your business? What's next for your personal life? What's next for your health? What's next for your relationships? We didn't talk about that. What is next? So many people. That
And
was talking about.
you mentioned health in there, Tar. And one thing we've got to remember that, you know, when we're eating a lot of things have been genetically, you know, modified and stuff. And you were saying living off the land, you know, and this is just an idea for somebody, so they might need to catch it. This is the time to teach people, even if you don't ever use it, it'd be a good time to learn how to basically farm. Because you remember I remember my grandparents, you know. I remember having to go to the chicken coop to get the eggs out. I don't like it, but if I have to do it again, I know how to get them eggs for breakfast
Mm-hmm.
out the chicken coop. You know, I don't like chasing no chicken, you know, and the ringing of the net. I ain't never had to do that. But you know, push come to shove, you know, I know how to get the coop and put the chicken in the coop,
That's right.
you
That's
know,
right.
and make it do what it do. But these are the things that we need to learn. We need to learn how to garden because it may come a point where we got to stop eating some of this meat at the grocery stores and stuff. Really, these days, a lot of time we really don't know what we're eating anyway because they got
Uh-uh.
to mass produce that chicken and stuff. To, you know,
Yeah.
that's something to think about. You know, somebody better grab that and start teaching them classes.
You
But
can know.
anyway, that's the type of stuff we got to do to prepare. Our diets may change. We may become vegan not by choice. You know,
That's
different
right.
things. So make it fun, experience. Start introducing yourself to some new stuff. Introduce your children some new things. Start, you know, changing your diet, trying some new foods because we never know where you where you where we may end up at. Because I
Yeah.
do think we have a new way of life going forward. You know, everything changes, and we can even go back, you know, generations. There was a major change for them. You got to realize they felt when things started changing and what how they felt during that
Mm-hmm.
time. We're basically at that point now where okay, things are changing. How are we going to embrace this change? What are we going to do? The only thing to do is to learn, decide, make up your mind that you're ready to embrace the change. All
Yeah.
change doesn't have to be bad. We may not like it, but it doesn't have to be bad. And you still got to embrace it and move forward because you can't be stuck because you're gonna be messed up if you stuck.
That's right.
Because
That's
change gonna happen one way or other, whether you like it or not. Your job gonna have some new rules, some new guidelines, a new way of working. Relationships may be different. We
right.
already looking at you got to have an alternate way of dating. You got people doing virtual dates.
That's
So
right.
things are changing. Kids are doing virtual school. We've got so many changes. So you got to embrace the change. Whether you like it or not, you're going to do it or you're going to be left behind.
That's right. That's right. What's next for you guys? That's the question. What's next for you? What's next for you? It's time to reevaluate. It's time for you to reevaluate every aspect of your life. We're going into the next quarter. September is going to be the last quarter of the year. It's time to reevaluate your life. Reevaluate your business, reevaluate your relationships, reevaluate your spiritual walk. And we're gonna talk about that because you know Mel and I have some real interesting conversations. Because y'all know I can be out there sometimes. I can, you know, I can. But we need to talk about some of these things. And I think we're gonna talk about it because I did have a few people reach out, spiritually speaking, about these new uh ideologies, religious ideologies, and these beliefs that are coming up culturally within the African American culture that or if you are, let me put it, if you are a believer in Christ, if you are a believer in Yeshua in Christ, Jesus the Christ, if you are that are not biblically sound, that have had a mixture put in there, and people are trying to say, well, this God. Now I'm gonna say this and we're gonna go because I don't want Facebook to knock us off. But yeah, they lied to us for a long time from that Bible. But guess what? The truth is being revealed. But don't get caught up. Don't get caught up on the lies and don't get caught up. It's always, and I'm only talking to those that are believers in Christ. I ain't talking to, if you believe another God, I ain't talking to you. I promise you. I'm not talking to you. If you believe in another God, that's your business, and I ain't talking. Hey, I respect what you do. I'm talking to those that are believers in God, that's in believers in the Most High God in Christ. You can't mix him. You mix him, you get kicked out by default. You can't mix another belief and another religion with him. You get kicked out of his kingdom by default. He don't take mixture. That's why it says either be hot or cold. If you lukewarm is a mixture. You get spewed out. You either gonna be hot or you're gonna be cold. You can't bring in mixtures and cultural beliefs because the kingdom is always over culture. Remember that. You can't have kingdom and culture. They don't go together. You got to have either kingdom or you're going to have culture. You can't mix the two. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about this, let me go ahead and say it so I can get y'all to talk about me on my page. We're going to talk about this Beyonce and this black king. We're going to talk about all of that because, honey, y'all better stop all that. I know the Beehive might try to come on after me. Come on because I'm ready for you. I'm ready. Y'all better stop following that stuff. Y'all better stop following all the people. Y'all don't know what's going on for real. Y'all think y'all woke and you sleep. You're not even sleepwalking. You sleep. Y'all better stop following all that stuff. That's all I'm saying. And stop letting your children follow all that stuff. I'm talking to believers now. I'm not talking to y'all people that ain't believers. I ain't talking to y'all church goers. I ain't talking to y'all. I'm talking about the folks that's believers, not the church goers, not the CMEs. Christmas, Mother's Day, and Easter. I'm not talking to y'all. Let me stop.
You didn't say Christmas, Mother's Day, and Easter, did you?
CME. I ain't talking to y'all people. I'm not talking to y'all. I ain't talking to y'all people that I ain't talking. I'm talking to the ones that's believers. I ain't talking to the ones that's believers on Sunday and a sinner on Monday. I ain't talking about y'all. I'm talking about the real ones. I'm not talking about you. I'm not. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm
Sorry,
having
you
fun,
can get us
y'all.
kicked on Facebook.
I'm having fun, y'all. Y'all know I like to laugh, but seriously, let's talk about this stuff because you know what? People want to know. Nobody. That's why our talk show is for real, raw, and relevant. We talk about things that people are not talking about, and we need to talk about it. We need to address what's going on because guess what? The world is addressing it. They addressing what they got going on. We need to address this stuff because now people get pulled away. People without a vision, without understanding, people get pulled away into all kind of stuff. Y'all, our time is up, man. Anything you want to say before we close, Melanie? Because I done ran my mouth tonight.
Well, we do want you all, and we've been talking about this for a couple of weeks. It is gonna be one of those. It's gonna be a series, but it's gonna be one of those that's gonna really have you questioning some things. And there's nothing wrong with questioning some things because when you've got questions, it causes you to do the research. And even when you go to church on a Sunday, and I have my bishop used to say this all the time. You shouldn't come sit in a congregation without a pen and a piece of paper because you need to be making some notes because one thing you need to do is you need to be able to pull your Bible out and your Bible should line up with what you're being taught. But a lot of times we don't do that and we don't question it. We do rely on everything that's being said. And that's why some people have erroneous teaching. You have to take that step and go a little further. So with that, This is going to make you question some stuff. It's going to cause you to have to pull your Bible out and take a look at it. You're going to have to pull out some other books too, to do some
Come on.
research and get to doing reading. And I've been saying this a lot, and I even said it in my our empowerment group. You got to, because we're reading a book right now, the Seven Mountains of Prophecy. You've got to be able to get in your Bible and also go a little further. You need to get the background history of stuff. And then that's just like sometimes when you get a scripture, you need to read the scriptures before it, and you need to read the scriptures after it or whatnot to get a clear understanding. So you got to be able to do research. But again, it's just going to make you think. It's something we've been talking about a couple of weeks because it is going to be a little heavy, and that's just my opinion. It's going to be a little heavy for some folks. And you're going to have some people that's just going to totally disagree with you or whatnot. But the main thing is to make you think. And then you form your own opinion from what you hear and what you find when you research it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So we're going to do that. But tonight, our main thing is just to provoke some thought in preparing for 2021. Because a lot of people, they're ready to throw away 2020. 2020 wasn't clear vision, but yes, it was clear vision. Our eyes got open to a lot of things in 2020. So we can't say 2020 was not clear vision. And if your vision hasn't gotten clear in 2020, then you need to take this moment right now and do your vision for the rest of the year for 2020. And that's just true, because I see it so much on Facebook. Everybody talking, oh, throw away 2020. I thought this was supposed to be the year clear vision. It is the year.
It is.
And if you don't see that, then you need to sit down and do your vision for 2020 for the remainder of the year before you even think about 2021, because you ain't got 2020 together yet. But we're gonna do this, and I just want to say this too. And this is just something I feel like I need to say with everything that's going on with COVID, and I've been seeing it. I noticed some stuff on timelines stuff. People, get your paperwork right. You may, if you need to do a prenup, do a prenup. You might not have nothing today. You might be rich tomorrow. You never know. Do a prenup. Get your businesses legal. Get your life insurance. You may think you don't have nothing. Sit down and get your will done. Make specific plans. Make it easier on your loved ones. It's already enough going on. You don't want to leave a mess for your loved ones and stuff, because then it tears up families, it tears up friendships, and I haven't, let me throw out a disclaimer. No, I have not dealt with this recently, but I just felt that I need to share this. Take the time. We if you want to do not resuscitate order, make sure you got that stuff in place. If you need a living will, do your living will. We don't know what we're going to be hit with in the next 5 minutes, the next day, the next week. We don't, and as culturally, as African Americans, we don't like to have these conversations.
Right.
Make somebody aware where your insurance policies is. Don't let the family have to wait and go dig through boxes in your closets and stuff. And you know how the old people used to do. If you, and I'm put somebody on your checking accounts and stuff. They don't have to have access to it. But this is just basic talk. Things that, I had mentioned earlier because it was heavy on my mind. They don't have to have access to all your money, but put somebody on there, because I guarantee it's going to make a difference if something happens to you suddenly. And we don't ever know what may happen suddenly, because this life is something else. Get your stuff together. Get your stuff together. Get your paperwork in order.
Say, Marcia, get your life.
Yeah, get your life.
Get your life. Get your life.
Yeah. The last thing you want is families toe up, relationships toe up, because things are not in proper place. When you could have sat down and took a couple of hours out of the afternoon and did what you needed to do. All right, so I guess that's it for this week. I enjoyed our talk this week, Tara.
Yes. Thank you guys for joining us on Talk Therapy. Make sure you go to Melody's page at Inspired by Melody and follow her. If you're not following me at Let's Talk Tara, make sure you follow us. If you're watching us on YouTube, make sure you share, you like, you subscribe. Periscope family, how you doing? Talk Therapy family, hey, join our Talk Therapy page. We're gonna have some virtual stuff coming up soon. Because hey, we're doing business different. We're doing things differently. But we're gonna do it, and we're gonna walk out our purpose and our destiny. So until next Tuesday, you guys have a great week. Be safe, put your mask on, and stay at home. Stay on at home, honey. Stay home. See you later.